Didn't I tell you? That phrase never leaves my heart as I lie on my deathbed. Aina kneels beside me, trembling. No matter how I try, the end is here for me. Never before had I witnessed Aina in tears. Her sobs break every wall I built. Even as the Demon King, she is powerless against the weight of death looming over us both. Gentle words slip past my lips, but I see she is clinging to hope. I'm old, frail, consumed by time, but she swears never to let go and begs me not to leave her behind. Moments later, silence thickens as my vision fades. Aina clings to my cooling hand, her voice frantic. The weight of her loneliness drowns all hope left in me. Shadows swallow the world. I can no longer hear, feel, or answer Aina. Empty darkness cradles my fading mind as apologies echo. I am leaving her alone to face eternity. Eternal silence suffocates everything now. I float, weightless, in a darkness with neither time nor sensation. Death feels familiar, an endless void with nothing left to hold on to. Slowly, a faint ember stirs within the void. White soul flame flares alive, consciousness returning from nothingness. I begin to remember who I am and what I have lost. Confusion flashes. Who am I? My first conscious thought is Aina, wife, love, everything, but I cannot be her. My name, Xielun Morian, returns as my soul forms again. An unstoppable pull seizes my soul. Drifting from eternal dark, I surge toward a new world. Sensation floods my being, each heartbeat rekindling the fire of life within. My consciousness fuses into flesh and blood again. Heart racing to a powerful beat, warmth suffuses my being. I open my eyes, squinting, and return from death to light. Dazzling morning fills my vision. I sit up, discovering a log ceiling and cool pine scent. I am alone in a tidy wooden cabin, bed blanketed by thick white fur for warmth. An overwhelming sense of youth and vigor courses within my veins. Forlorn memories of dying as an old man contrast with my restored strength and powerful physique reflected in the mirror. The fireplace glows red, casting gentle warmth. Through the cabin window, winds drive icy snow into glass. For now, I have nowhere to go. Surviving in here is my best option. Despite confusion, I whisper Aina into the empty air, yet I am alone. The world outside is bitter and cold, but hope still flickers, stubborn and small, within my chest. A muscle memory pushes me up to standing, still unsteady in this younger body. The simple, rugged room exists only for survival, yet it feels oddly familiar, as if from a distant life. Creak, the cabin door opens, bringing winter's cold. Aina appears with silver hair, crimson eyes, and snowy fur coat. Her stern, regal presence is every bit as familiar as before. An outpouring of longing launches me forward to embrace her. Snow glistens on her hood, but she nimbly dodges, standing tall and reserved, her serious gaze disarming my hopes. Her first words cut like a knife. She asks who I am and why I'm in her home. I stand stunned, arms half raised, my heart stung, as hope is replaced by uncertainty. Confusion thickens, icy air swirling between us. I can hardly accept her denial. Did Aina truly forget me, or is some cruel trick of fate at play in this unfamiliar world? Pleading words tumble out, desperation rising as I grip her shoulders. Surely she must know me. Her tears fall silently, catching the firelight. Panic dissolves the anger in my heart. Utter shame weighs on me as I back away, apologizing for scaring her. My own clumsiness and despair cling like shadows, making each step out the door feel impossibly heavy and cold. Shock surges through me as her quiet voice stings. She repeats words I once spoke, her crimson eyes accusing yet heartbroken. Suddenly, the past shatters the false distance between us. Yesterday's sorrow melts into joy. The pain was never real, only a veil drawn for old wounds. I whirl and seize her, a lifetime's longing pouring into the warmth of our embrace. Bittersweet laughter escapes me. My fears fade as Aina presses gently against me, her whispered vows soothing away every doubt until only love and shared memory remain between us. What happened? How am I truly here again? The impossible lingers on my tongue. I can still feel my own heartbeat, strong and sure, warmth returning to me with every moment beside her. Aina merely smiles, lifting her chin in playful pride. Her answer is bold and matter-of-fact. She brought me back. I watch her almost in disbelief, love and wonder fighting in my heart. Regardless of her warnings, I can't help ruffling her exquisite hair. Her contented, disguised smile is all the answer I need. Some things, like love, never really change at all. Though laughter and comfort fill the room, I note the blizzard's shadows crawling over the window. Aina assures me of safety, her home high atop a mountain, far from the chaos below. Meals like this feel like history repeating. Aina, ever attentive, presents warm bread, fragrant soup, and steak, magic protecting the food. At her table I sense peace despite the lonely height. Time stretches as I listen, learning a millennium has passed. Order era, legends born of our old hidden lives. The world outside feels distant, our history now only a whispered myth. Aina's smile grows playful as she recounts the old legends, the hero and demon king, the truce, conquest, and disappearance. A story written by our own hands, now twisted by distant memory. I savor the flavors of bread and soup, yet Aina claims no hunger. Her mysterious gaze never wavers from me. We sit as legend, existing both above and apart from the world outside. The past returns with a smile, our story sealed, our deaths misremembered. I look at her lips, recalling the truth behind every legend. Beneath titles, we were simply husband and wife, loving. The last bite is sweet. Aina's gaze promises more than food. Quiet anticipation stirs as she stands, embers curling around her figure. My heart races, caught between shyness and longing. Beautiful danger unfurls. Her wings blaze into being, darkness coiling around bare skin like silk. I am breathless, her demonic presence both terrifying and irresistible, dazzling me with forbidden intimacy. Enveloped in her wings, I am lost in red eyes gleaming in the shadows. The world narrows to breath and heartbeat, desire chasing away every fear, her voice a promise that transcends death. Once, my wife's teasing was gentle and clumsy, but now her taunts hold an unfamiliar boldness. My heart beats faster, caught between nostalgia and the thrill of rediscovery. Wistful memories return, as Aina's words bristle with mock anger. I always saw through her act. Her blushes made her more endearing than her sharp tongue ever threatened. When she hurls insults now, her eyes sparkle with something fierce and new. Instead of hurt, I feel warmth, her cruelty barely a mask, her affection sharper than any barb. Present and past entwine, Aina nestles by my side, twirling her hair, stealing a glance. As she sits, a wince betrays her fatigue, yet her presence feels both intimate and unfamiliar. Softly tracing her back, I confess that she seems more honest now. Her silence lingers, fragile and heavy, until tears slip quietly down her face, unexpected, sharp as a blade through memory. Without warning, her lips silence my words, her kiss is salted by tears. In that embrace, centuries of regret wash over us, dissolving time with longing too deep to name. It took her 1,000 years to bring me back. Each day she relived our old life, haunted by the harsh words left unsaid after my death. Her regrets are written in every tear. My breath catches. Aina pours out 1,000 years of sorrow, confessing her desperation to bring me back. Even as a hollow shell, she speaks of bones, of hope crumbling, of longing without end. Her promise is fierce now. Never again will I suffer, she vows, voice trembling. I am both overwhelmed and grateful, pressing my forehead to hers in gentle acceptance, letting old wounds begin to close. Stretched out on the bed, I stare at old pine beams overhead, guilt gnawing at me. So much time lost, so many years she bore alone, my deepest regrets carved into the wood above. Aina brushes her silver hair over my chest, her wings gone. Now only 2 crimson marks remain at her nape, like a secret only I know. She teases me with habitual disdain. Even jokes about her vampiric nature feel lighter now. I marvel that she never slept in a coffin. She laughs, draping herself across me, both of us safe from darkness, for at least this night. I ask about my own body, skin pale as paper, strong but unfamiliar, the scars and sword calluses vanished. Each movement feels new, as if I were born again from otherworldly midnight. With gentle reverence, Aina lists the ingredients of my new body, the heart of a world tree, dragon's flesh. I shudder at her miracle, wondering what sort of being I've become now. Is this what a chimera feels like? She laughs, assuring me my soul remains unchanged. Then, arms braced, she teases. My strength might be monstrous, but my fertility is just as disappointing. Aina collapses, breathless and defeated, while I stretch on cold floorboards, exhilarated. Every limb thrums with impossible power. The urge to test these new limits is too strong to ignore. My fists cut the air, energy rippling with every movement. My body trembles on the edge of the impossible. Aina teases, half serious, warning me not to rupture space and ruin our fragile peace. The universe cracks, ice-splintering sound halts my breath. Terror flashes within as the air ripples ominously. Space itself seems to tear, threatening to drag everything into darkness. Before fear blooms, Aina simply taps her finger, smoothing the rift with ease. Her power makes this disaster seem like nothing, her confidence both reassuring and a little terrifying to behold. I drop onto the bed, dazed by the limitlessness of this new existence. She opens her arms with mock arrogance, inviting me in, her voice half challenge, half a plea I cannot resist. There are no words fitting, so I sweep her into my arms. Her limbs wrap around me with wicked glee. Her power, seductive and absolute, pools in her crimson eyes, daring me to misbehave. I doubt nothing now. Her strength has grown past legend. My own rebirth is but a shadow compared to what she's accomplished. After 1,000 years, she surpassed every dream I remembered. Only now do I understand the truth. Defeating death means facing the world's wrath. I ask, torn by foreboding, if the goddess, once my patron, tried to stop Aina from breaking this taboo. Aina's words are casual, almost flippant, about killing a goddess. I stare, lost for words. If the world itself has been conquered for our love, how can I possibly remain the same person? Startling, her legs grip tighter as tension sharpens the air between us. I sense the weight of her jealousy and the dangerous tenderness she carefully holds just for me. Questions, her breath warm as she challenges my loyalty. Aina's touch is possessive, yet her words reveal the wound the goddess left between us, that may never truly disappear. Once the goddess uplifted me, gifting the strength that shaped my destiny. I speak my truth mid her looming power. What I owe the world, I have already paid by Aina's side. Never forget, love means obligation to both goddess and demon alike. Aina's jealousy melts into pride as she questions my answer, her satisfaction swirling with something far darker. Everything blurs when her wings unfurl, crimson and warm, they cocoon me in the promise of reward. I yield, overcome by her power and hunger, surrendering to our tangled fate. Frozen wilderness offers no mercy. Only the bold endure its cruel embrace, risking all for rare treasures hidden within, driven by hunger, greed, and hope found in this icy vastness. Lake Village endures beside the great frozen lake, a fragile speck of life on the snowbound frontier, huddled close, sheltered upon the edge of empire, clinging to hope against the ice. Inside the snow hut, fear fights hope. I peer through frosted panes at the bitter storm, clutching my scarf as mother pats my head, her words brave but hands still trembling with worry. Every promise lingers in my chest. Mother's soothing hush, the fur coat snug over my shoulders, her tired embrace all that stands between my fear and that howling wind beyond the walls. Tension shatters at the call of return, my heart leaps as I rush from her arms. Outside, the world is still white and wild, but hope gallops home inside pounding footsteps and laughter. Relief is sudden, all worries melting, when father embraces me with icy arms. Safe at last, I rest in his warmth, grateful for every hope the storm failed to freeze from my heart. Stranger's presence looms, more elegant and mysterious than even father's strong shadow. I meet his eyes. He is untouched by cold, his red mage robes strange beside our battered coats. Enchanted warmth fills my hand where the red gem pulses, and sausages vanish into thin air. Wolan's gift for a child he barely knows. A small kindness that glows against the outside cold. No door opens, just vanishing, the red-robed mage dissolves softly into glittering sparks as if by magic. The chill rushes back in, making us wonder if he was real at all. The wild outside bites, but I stride through a blizzard untouched, all warmth from within. My steps leave no mark but scorched snow, and I keep my destination fixed beyond the icy veil. Thunder rolls. The dragon descends in a rush of white and blue, wings outstretched wide as the sky. Before me, the guardian of these lands greets with a voice far gentler than her form. Old friends, no need for hesitation. I watch as blue light flashes, and the mighty dragon shrinks, becoming a shy small girl whose horns and glimmering eyes betray her true ancient self. Strange comfort lingers as we share meager food among snow and mountains. She gnaws sausage with graceful hunger, knowing my purpose. But even old alliances struggle with such fragile timing. Rising tension flickers between old friends. Mita warns Wolan that seeing Aina now is certain death. Her words send a chill, and even Wolan hesitates to test the boundary. 3 days blur. Indoors, warmth and snowlight fade into private moments. Intimacy and laughter echo, a rare comfort that feels both new and impossibly ancient within these walls. Tender moments slip away when I sense a cautious presence outside the barrier. Someone tests its edge, unable to break through as Aina keeps her calm. I wrap her wings close to me. Calm acceptance lingers. Neither of us is startled. Aina yawns, breaking the spell, and with a snap her bat-like wings fold away. In their place, a flowing black gown shimmers into view. Sudden warmth wraps around me as Aina conjures a robe out of thin air. Its lining glows with magic sigils that burn off the cold. The memory of her powers grounds me in this unfamiliar time. Moments later, the snowstorm howls and a knock sounds at our door. I brace myself, but Aina simply calls, her calm unshaken by the storm's fury swirling beyond our small haven in the wilds. Enter stage left, a girl glides in, blue hair shimmering with cold. Her dress sparkles like fresh snow. Stilted, nearly wordless, she bows. Something about her is equal parts fragility and frost. Ancient bloodlines intertwine. Aina introduces the girl as Mita, last of the Chaos Dragon clan. I offer my hand, and she carefully presses my palm to her head, formality clashing with innocence. Family forms in strangeness. Aina conjures a gleaming sapphire blue crystal, and solemnly presents it as my gift to Mita. Her eyes glow as she nibbles it, her thanks shimmer quietly between us. Whipping winds return, the cabin's door trembles. Aina bids a visitor enter. Wolan stumbles in, snow-dusted and stunned. His wide eyes grip not the storm, but the impossibility standing before him. Impossible meets reality as Wolan's gaze fixes on me, disbelief flickering in his eyes. A storm brews within him that no blizzard can match. He's frozen mid-step, shaken to his core. Confrontation rises. Wolan studies me, searching for answers in my face. Somewhere beneath his shock, raw hope peers through, but I sense a bitter taste I can't explain lingering in my heart. Strained silence settles between us as Aina introduces Woland. Odd threads of suspicion twist inside me. What history lies between them? I wrestle with jealousy I have no right to feel. Jealousy and regret entwine, Memories return of all Aina's sacrifice and how little time I truly spent beside her. Doubt wrestles with trust while Woland stands, awkward and uncertain before me. Tension surges and invisible pressure emanates from within me, pinning Woland in place. He nearly falls but regains composure, sweat beading on his brow as fear flashes beneath his disbelief. Aina snaps me from my jealousy, scolding softly to keep my aura in check. She's amused, not angry, as she threads her fingers between mine and distracts me with her gentle, comforting touch. Family ties unravel. Aina smiles, counting generations on her fingers as she reveals that Woland is our distant descendant. In this strange home, kinship stretches further than time can measure. Unopened depths awaken. Aina's words send prickling cold through me. She claims Woland's our descendant, but I remember nothing of a son. Shock sharpens my disbelief. Questions rise uncontrolled. Aina confirms our lineage, but my mind reels at the impossibility. Centuries, isolation, and near gods. How could any child survive between us? Centuries drift backward. Aina calmly recounts our only child, Ice. The name stirs horrors I'd hidden deep, drawing forth the stifling memory of betrayal and a blade's fateful end. Twisted love haunts. Ice's final moments surge from memory, blood on his lips, a grotesque smile, and his callous parting words. His shadow coils inside me, a wound too deep to heal. Pain lingers eternal. Every word of Ice's end stains memory. I recall my hand gripping the sword's hilt as Aina silently watched, her eyes as cold as the night we ended our own child. Endless regret claws. Aina's hand finds my arm, her touch steady and cold. She dismisses blame for the past, but the emptiness Ice left behind gnaws through even immortal hearts. Haunted by guilt, Aina calls Ice an accident, a fleeting outcome of carnal longing with no bond of love. The words taste bitter, even if I cling to them for solace tonight. Unease sits thick. My protest that Ice mattered chills the room. Aina's affection falls only on me, her eyes coldly dismissing our son's existence, even as past wounds echo in the air. Frozen distance cracks. Aina's candor cuts, insisting my kindness blinded me to the evil within our son. Through bitterness and silence, I feel the raw edge of her enduring pain. Backdrop shifts again. Mita's gentle presence lightens the oppressive air. She finishes her snack, curling upon soft fur, as silence falls and my gaze follows Aina's toward Woland. Searching for truth, I finally break the silence, asking Aina about Woland's origins. Her reply unspools a tragedy, the tale of a maid's suffering and the terrible stigma Ise left behind. Silent sorrow stirs, learning the maid's fears I ache. Her devotion hid her child away, all to protect my name. The weight of unintended consequences feels heavier than any battle wound. Empathy weighs heavy. Aina describes the maid's gratitude, her secret diary, and the oath handed down through generations. Reputations crumble beside the cost of silent suffering and lost hope. Time blurs softly. Aina tells how the descendants age slowly, living a century or more, passing her test for bloodline. I picture each secret life, their struggle, quietly carried forward. Kinship's weight eases. Learning Woland is my distant kin soothes my heart. I find warmth in the knowledge, my strange immortality echoed by his uncertain smile. Generations bind us quietly. Graceful acceptance follows, old wounds unspoken. I apologize for unrest. Woland bows his head, offering a shy, fleeting smile. Between us, the distance of centuries slowly collapses in kindness. Playful truth emerges. Woland falters over how to address us. Aina jokes about being called ancestor, her eyes glinting with mischief. Laughter softens lines of memory around her lips. Awkwardness dissolves gently. Woland adopts a respectful tone, addressing us casually, but with a tremor of awe. In his voice, I hear echoes of all the years I never knew in this family's line. Telepathic whispers linger. Aina's mind brushes mine, sharing snark about Woland's quick wit and the sorry state of past generations. Her pride in him radiates through layers of secrecy. Instinct measures talent. Aina's pride in Woland's magic surprises me. If her approval is genuine, perhaps my bloodline carries value, even after so many bitter links riven by cruelty and exile. Urgency breaks in. Aina prompts Woland to speak his purpose. His eyes flicker with anxiety. He delivers grave news. A blood cult, a heretical god, and villages cleansed by secret slaughter. Horrors outlined bluntly. Woland recounts eradicating the cultists, but seeds of evil remain buried deep. My fists clench beneath the table as I hear of villages condemned in the name of the hero. Ruminating again quietly, I wondered if the evil god could be me, recently resurrected in this wooden cabin, still isolated. But I felt no summons pulling me anywhere. Just silent confusion. Wasn't I just one blessed by the goddess among a rare few in this world? I asked Aina if perhaps another champion existed instead, my fingers twisting faintly in troubled thought. Surprised yet appreciative, I listened as Aina insisted that my name alone shaped the idea of what a champion truly was. Her words cracked the shell of my uncertainty, pouring warmth inside. Recalled by Aina's memories, I suddenly understood my legend was cemented by the era's end. She'd ended the chaos herself, but spared the human race in united worlds because I stood against her. After that legendary war, Woland explained, the champion title faded from history, yet demon kings endured, name passed to rulers from 5 great non-human realms, each immense in power and influence. Sky Sovereign, called Olides, rules the floating sky islands, winged race bows to his might, and none contest the vast, shifting clouds over which he presides as the regal Azure Demon King. Then comes Helug, Wild Sovereign, Berserk Demon King, protector of beastkin and wilds untouched by civilization. Feral, revered, his roar alone shakes ancient mountains, keeping order amid unruly kindreds. Third is Hardwick, the Nether Sovereign, the Undying King. His dominion is Yellow Spring Hell, legions of undead at command, ruling a realm sunless and cold where life clings only to hope. Beneath the endless blue, Nakan rules deep waters, Ocean Sovereign, the abyssal demon king of the sea race, cool and unfathomable, gazing beyond horizons landfolk rarely fathom, his domain timeless and immense. Next among the snowfields rests Maida, Frost Sovereign, snow goddess to her folk. Awkward to think the sunny girl napping like a cat at my feet rules such terrifying glacial might beneath calm. Even knowing the innocence in Mita's face, I sense the bone-deep power she wields. I'm still learning myself, barely confident against someone like her if fate demanded we truly clashed someday. Arm entwined in mine, Aina whispers that cultists use my reputation now. Whether to lure me out or exploit my legend, I cannot sit by in fear or let my name shield the wicked. So, I told Aina we should leave soon. She agreed softly, but warned that revealing my true champion name would stir chaos. Disguise would be needed even if my heart longed for recognition. Aina reassured me, saying plenty admire me enough to name children after me anyway. Rather than hide, we'd create new identities. Practical and safe, yet oddly thrilling for an old hero reborn. Aina turned to Woland to handle the new arrangements. We'd go to Olafandor Magic Academy as students. Woland blinked, then bowed deeply, mask of composure failing him once again before duty. Learning Olafandor's true stature stunned me. Aina detailed its glory, and Woland was its headmaster. Another wave of admiration welled up from my chest, proud to see his accomplishments unfold here. With a flicker of silver, Woland produced 2 magical letters, parchment gleaming in midair, written by arcane hand, bearing his official seal. Our entrance to Olafandor became not just legend, but reality. Hands trembling a little with joy, I held my Olafandor letter, Aina teasing me about my old dream of academy life. Her gentle laughter cut through lingering regrets, awakening hope I'd never dared voice. For a moment, past hardships pressed close, when poverty and war made magic academies a dream beyond reach. Yet Aina and Woland's words painted a world where any child could now grasp hope. Woland explained academy life now belonged to those of promise, not privilege. His sincerity touched even old scars. Did we wish to head for Olafandor right away, or savor what time we had? Aina wanted us to travel slowly, to show me the lands I saved. I nodded. Woland bowed deeply one final time before stepping out into the winter, cloak snapping as he vanished into snow. High above snowfields, Woland's journey to Olafandor was nearly interrupted by shock. He realized Aina had truly smiled, warmth and kindness transforming even her voice. Today, the impossible had happened. Woland muttered to himself, stunned. Never had he seen Aina so gentle or expressive, always cold before. He marveled, attributing the change to my presence, the hidden strength of a champion. Clouded dawn light filters across snow as I quietly watch Aina prepare for her journey. My place is here, keeping the snow realm safe until she returns, however long it takes. In her gentle touch and vague words I hear affection, but always distance too. Stubbornness in me softens. I accept my task as caretaker of this silent, glimmering realm for now. Wooden door creaks open. Outside, a torrent of frigid wind and snow stings my face. I pause in the threshold, heart thumping with growing excitement for the journey about to begin. Bright winter air sweeps across my cheeks as I rush outside, bounding forward with a single thought, farewell. I leap, power shifting, dragon form unfurling, blizzard scattering before my roar. Long years weigh lightly as sunlight bursts across the snow. Standing upon sacred peak I stretch, deep within, my hope stirs. At last, the world calls me forward again. Hand in hand, Aina draws me onward, her melody softens the winter chill, and for once, we wander as lovers beneath the sky. My heart aches joyfully at this impossible piece together. Brisk wind whips at our clothes as we walk. Curiosity builds. I hesitate, then voice my question. Aina leans close, teasing until I finally admit what bothers me about my hands. My honest awkwardness draws a blush from Aina. Her eyes flash with embarrassment. The whole world seems to pause as I show her those strange, jade-like middle fingers. A secret discovered. Aina's voice hardens, hint of that old Demon King command returning as she chides me. My confusion grows, yet her care and exasperation wrap around me like gentle winter sunlight. Sudden heat and mortification sweep over me. Gazing at those weird fingers, I collapse as an unstoppable nosebleed gushes out. The snow catches me, brilliant and cold against my spinning senses. In the bright snow, Ina's teasing is a balm. Her gift of a second life weighs heavy, but now I can finally smile again. Even embarrassment can't hide my slow, stubborn happiness. Laughter and challenge spark between us. For the first time since awakening, I grasp Ina's hand sincerely, no barriers. Hero or not, I choose her and the adventures ahead without regret. Far below, Lake Village awakens with cheers as sunlight pierces the last storm. The snow god's name rings out. Joy bubbles up, the moment shared by children dashing across ice and elders alike. Mother's hands work quickly, treating wolf and hare pelts as I help dry them by the fire. I'm glad my chores matter, that these furs will travel further than I ever have, reaching distant lands. Father wipes sweat and blood from his face, tells me to go learn at school. Reluctance fades as I hurry down the snow path, for deep down I know these chores too are love in disguise. Snow crunches beneath my boots as I near the village entrance. The sturdy watchtower beyond reminds me to stay alert. Nothing is certain in winter, but even fear fades alongside new sunlight. Far out on the white plain, two tiny black dots catch my eye, strangers rare in our frozen land. The memory of Wolin's parting gift at my neck sparkles with unexpected warmth and certainty. Blinking in confusion, I only realize much later that the strangers have reached the gate. How long was I lost in thought? My heart leaps as they stand before me. Adventure is here again. Obsidian dark hair falls over the stranger's sharp features. Against the wild landscape, his elegance is unreal. My thoughts scatter. I can't help but stare at this handsome newcomer. Light snow dances past as Ina steps protectively closer, shielding Inanna from Xialun. Tension crackles. Inanna flushes deeper, unable to look away from Ina's perfect crimson eyes. Crimson gaze meets shy blue as I realize both Inanna and Ina are caught in an awkward daze. Ina's brow knits with confusion, and Xialun teases gently to break the spell's odd hold. Subtle signals pass between us. Xialun murmurs telepathic words to Ina. I sense a moment of intimacy beneath playful banter, though Ina's cheeks turn pink at his private message. Questions about Crow City guide our talk. Inanna, finally collected, beams as she explains the merchant caravan's plans. I feel the web of new connection, drawing me in with hopeful warmth. Ina flicks a gold coin with effortless grace. I watch Inanna's eyes widen in awe. It's more than anyone here spends in a month. The coin's surface flashes with a bearded king's visage. Sudden wealth presses hot in her palm. Inanna freezes, torn between returning the coin or keeping it. I see her finally tuck it away with a shy smile as we disappear into the busy winter street. When mere gold could buy almost anything, I ponder the luxury of ceremony. Why walk, why wait, when we could simply fly? I sense meaning hiding between joy and restraint in our choices. Even for the mighty, ceremony adds flavor to tedium. Ina walks at my side, eyes reflecting purpose and nostalgia. The world stretches wide. I savor these small rituals with her journeying next to me. Wide smile appears upon Geirui, the caravan leader, as Ina offers another gold coin. He protests but pockets the payment instantly, and I glimpse quick hands, sharp eyes, hidden greed beneath goodwill. Dog sleds await, pulled by snowwolf dogs bred for these wilds. Geirui clears one just for us. I stroke its immense mane, feeling warmth beneath the winter, gratitude mixing with anticipation. Bell rings out crisp and clear. Geirui signals the caravan onward as snowwolf dogs surge forward. Sled runners crunch over snow. I clutch the side rail, heart pounding with raw excitement. Chill wind stings as Geirui's warmth reaches us. He offers a flask and boisterous greeting. I taste the milky hint of liquor before passing it to Ina, letting the day's tension melt away. Geirui quickly surmises we're not locals. His sly smile never quite leaves. Conversation turns to Oliphando, and I sense growing respect in his eyes, tinged with the calculation of a seasoned merchant. Echoes of long-ago memories surface as Ina sits beside me, eyes distant, while Crow Village's name drifts on the wind. I reach for her hand, savoring the past and marveling at what we've become. Monsters steer clear of us. Ina's gentle aura quietly keeps danger at bay. As days drift by beneath cold skies, safety is no accident but an invisible power at our side. Near the border, order patrols become a constant sight. I catch the shimmer of insignia and magic. Robbers don't dare approach such strength, and even monsters would think twice. Travel passes quickly. Snowfolk drivers and their wolf teams add to our escort's might. Even the boldest raiders would measure those fangs and pelts before risking a foolish assault. Before Crow City's towering gates, awe grips me. Stonework and clustered battlements show no trace of old Crow Village. It's familiar in name, yet all else feels utterly reborn and strange. Familiarity fades as we part ways with the caravan. New sights surround me. Broad avenues alive with traffic, shops and banners, guards hurrying past with curious bulging pouches and rods. Guards hurry past with those strange rods. My curiosity wins. I ask softly if these are a new kind of staff. Their design glows faintly, nothing like the wands or staves known in my era. Magic rifles. Aina explains briskly. Mana ignites a firestone, unleashing a bullet. The rules of combat are shifting with these devices, letting non-mages wield what was once magic's domain. Unique to this age, mana runs through ordinary guards, yet most remain unable to truly wield elemental spirits. Becoming a mage is rare, while warriors must endure agonizing refinement alone. Suddenly a guard runs to catch his squad, magic rifle bumping his back. Aina's eyes flash bloody red. She calmly commands him to stop, and without pause, orders a demonstration for my benefit. Bang! Smoke spurts from the barrel, the bullets streaking toward me. Reflexes honed by past lives kick in. I catch the slug with 2 fingers, feeling its heat and weight, surprised by the cleverness of it. I return the slug to the guard's pouch, faintly amused. Weapons like this truly shake the gap between warriors and mages. I marvel at what's changed, feeling both wonder and a pang of nostalgia. Aina describes Magitech's effect on this era's warriors. Labor-intensive strength is falling out of style, replaced by guns and shortcuts. Only true masters can ignore the advance of these tools. Cities' massive cannons gleam atop ramparts, but even those are clumsy. A mage or agile warrior could dodge easily. I wonder at technology's pace, uneasy about what it might mean for the world. Aina recounts centuries in the wild, secret ventures beyond snowy peaks, planting roots for an unseen network of ears. Her smile is sly. I sense secrets carefully kept beyond my reach. Aimless wandering yields only the unfamiliar. So much lost, so many echoes of the past overwritten here. I drift through shadows and sunlight, feeling both grateful and displaced by memory's weight. Small hand on my sleeve pulls me back to the present. Aina's silent guidance leading me toward something. Distant delight stirs in me, recognizing hope I'd not dared let myself believe again. Turn again and memory floods me. The Green Owl Tavern stands undimmed. I cannot contain my joy at finding this remnant from centuries past, blinking in disbelief as Aina watches my discovery. Inside, nostalgia reigns. Counters, boards, and tables hold steady in my memory. The faint sunlight through the windows, the battered chairs, this place embraces both the past and the present, now. Unlike the Adventurers Guild, this bounty board overflows with quick jobs, scrawled by anyone, for anyone. The room is nearly empty, the city isn't yet awake, but I savor these silent moments. Stillness between us as I face the board, a golden memory. I murmur, reliving the day destinies met in this very room. All the changes, yet some feelings seem immune to the passage of ages. Suddenly I spot a lone elf sprawled over a sea of bottles, pointed ears, golden hair, battered bow at her side. Recognition floods me, disbelief and hope tangled tight inside my chest. Shock and disbelief trip my voice. I call softly, waking shades of the distant past. The elf blinks up groggily and mumbles my name. Sure it's only a dream, before nodding off again in drunken peace. Liana grumbles, convinced this is only a dream. Her head thunks back down, snoring resuming in a steady rhythm. I stand stunned, hardly daring to trust what I see, heart fluttering with questions. Chaos era dawned as I entered Crow Village, cloak drawn high, a single silver strand visible. My name is Inicus Lillian, Demon King of the Blood Clan. No one must know my identity. From birth, singular talent was forged by my father, Blood Duke, pouring the Blood Clan's legacy into me. Today, I set foot in the human realm for the very first time. Everything feels unstable. All these humans, insignificant like ants, I suppress a surging irritation. I must not act on a whim. Any violence might ignite war between demon race and humankind, risking everything. Heroes exist, those touched by the goddess, wielding power rivaling my own race. History proves, such heroes will always rise to slay the Demon King. I must not let fate repeat. Wouldn't it be better to destroy the hero before he can grow? I feel certain. Those gathered here must be the party. If I succeed, the demon race's future will be secured at last. Previous assassination squads sent by my kin, wiped out, never returning. Therefore, I must do this carefully, alone, and assess their strengths before any strike. Still, unease lingers. Narrow violet glare, my ocular arts fail. The supposed hero's power is hidden from me. Impossible. No ordinary human could escape my scrutiny. He stares back, awkward yet genuine. Eyes locked, his voice breaks the trance. Miss Aina? I watch, cold and silent, as a golden-haired elf flings an arm around his shoulder, her smile carefree and sly. Liana jokes with Xiaolin, insinuating some past between us. He explains earnestly, puts me at ease, and awkwardly mentions my appearance in response to his party recruitment notice. Could I infiltrate the hero's party? If I join, secrets could be unraveled from the inside. Yes, I reply, keeping my gaze trained, refusing to reveal a single intention behind my eyes. Liana sizes me up from under her brows, inquires about rank. Calmly I reply, high tier. Internally I laugh. Among humans, such titles are petty. Elves and demons measure strength very differently. Demon nobility's ranks run deeper than human high tiers. My accomplishments outstrip even the progenitor, yet I play the part. Liana, amused, suggests I'm a mysterious or dangerous mage. Leaning close, Liana taunts Shilin, threatening to leave if I'm not accepted. Is there more between them? My observations of their closeness spark suspicion, an unfamiliar, biting annoyance. Curiosity rises. What is the hero's true personality? Shaolin insists on fairness, offers a place for me if I wish. I nod, concealing my intent behind a mask of composure, while Liana smirks. Liana expresses surprise at my agreement. She suggests I reveal my origins, but Shaolin urges patience. The elf teases, flirting shamelessly. Humans outside feel surprisingly bold to me. Misunderstandings spiral. Shaolin warns me to be careful, but I rebuff him, stating the obvious. As Soul Party male, he deserves more wariness. Liana whoops, delighted by the reversal. He protests innocence, insists on proper boundaries. Yet something in his words provokes a flicker of irritation. Is he subtly saying I am unattractive? Unexpectedly, annoyance simmers within me. Strangers still, yet his stated honesty surprises me. He claims that if his feelings for me someday changed, he'd declare himself directly. Liana sighs, calling him boring, quiet laughter following. For an instant, my resentment fades. There is a straightforward honesty about him. Liana and he seem different than expected. I weigh my resolve, unwilling to let my guard fall so soon. He proposes honesty for my benefit. Shaolin and Liana's history is apparently free of romance, just camaraderie. Clarity settles in. My judgments about their relationship feel naive, even laughable. He reveals her truth with tender clarity. Liana is a lesbian. For a heartbeat, silence falls. All my tangled feelings, suspicions, and grand strategies crumble. My mind can only sputter. Gently nudging Liana awake, I watch her blurry eyes try to make sense of the morning. The reality of my presence hasn't landed yet, and I wonder what she'll make of this. From her dazed mumbles to the bottle clattering down, Liana mistakes me for a dream, even pinching my cheek to prove I'm real. Everything about her is both comic and heartbreakingly honest. Before Liana truly awakens, shock sets in. She cries out, and I react with speed, covering her mouth as her panic grows. Some part of me is sad she's so quick to doubt my identity. Curious hesitation now, I gently warn her not to move suddenly, watching her nod. But the instant I release her, she tries to gouge my eyes, forcing me to pin her securely in place. Why does Liana fight so hard? Her accusations sting. Even called a monster or a fake, I feel oddly touched. After all these centuries, she still cares about the original me. Decades altered bonds. Aina's gentle voice pierces the tension, asking me to let Liana go. Only Aina's calm keeps our reunion from descending into chaos. She always knows how to diffuse me. Aina's presence grounds us both. With a sheepish look, Liana finally calms, rubbing her sore wrist and staring in disbelief at Aina and me, her head swimming with 1,000 questions. Lost time weighs heavy. Liana's shock melts away as she recognizes Aina, joy blazing in her eyes, the sort of reunion only possible after centuries apart. She clings to Aina, practically vibrating. Unexpected envy flares as I watch Liana burying her face in Aina's shoulder, sobbing. I want to reach in and pull them apart. Yet, Aina's gentle gesture urges me to leave them for now. Tears and laughter. Liana can't stop clinging to Aina, gushing happiness. I step in, reminding her that Aina's my wife now, and boundaries must exist. She glares at me with heavy suspicion. Tests and doubts emerge. Liana eyes me up and down, asking whether I'm just a puppet Aina made. She jokes about ordering her own copy, and I feel equal parts exasperated and amused. Aina confirms with absolute confidence, it truly is me, not a puppet or golem. Her words cut through Liana's disbelief, leaving her silent, stunned, and barely able to process the truth at all. No room left for doubt. Liana stares at me, stunned. My abilities, my presence. Finally she realizes it really is her old friend, revived and impossibly unchanged after 1,000 years. Playing it cool, I tease Liana for her lack of excitement. In truth, I feel a strange pride at shocking her. She grumbles, but her tough act unravels as her tears return without warning. Liana's defenses crumble completely. Her tough words dissolve, and she throws herself sobbing into Aina's arms, holding tight. Only with Aina can she show this vulnerable side. Once she calms, Liana returns to her usual bluster, joking, asking about old times, and deflecting attention with humor. But I see the truth behind her eyes. Relief and loneliness both linger. With surprising tenderness, I ask Liana how she's managed all these years. Her bravado gives way. She admits to drifting, hunting, always alone. The pride in her gear says more than words. Typical Liana. She can't help but brag about her flings with pretty girls, grin widening. I hurry to cut her off, but Aina's soft giggle tells me she's deeply amused by every moment of this. Shifting gears, I muster up my courage, something I haven't done in centuries, and ask Liana to rejoin our team. My voice almost shakes, but I mean every word. The moment is weighty. Golden warmth returns. Liana's tears barely dry as she beams, promising to join us. For the first time in 1,000 years, our broken team feels a little closer to whole. Finally relaxed, I listened as Liana joked about magic school life. Her eyes sparkled with mischief, and she teased me relentlessly about pretty girls and legendary campus romances. Back in old times, Aina seemed distant and cold, her responses clipped, unless arguing with me. Now she's changed, sharing softer moments but still mysterious in her actions and intentions. Past and present blur as Aina offers me fries, her hair shining in the light. Liana shifts uncomfortably, caught between laughter and surprise, as old habits clash with the warmth of now. Uncomfortable. Liana blurted out a question about my resurrection, eyes wide with real curiosity and suspicion. The weight of death and impossible miracles hung heavily between us in that moment. Truth remained hidden. Aina kept her secret, quietly deflecting attention with her gentle hands and careful smiles. I trusted her completely, knowing she'd speak when the time was right for us all. Sharp words. Liana mentioned the Apostles of Twilight, gray-yellow-robed cultists obsessed with resurrection. Her voice lost its bravado just briefly, a touch of real anxiety coloring her story. Leads appeared unexpectedly. Aina and I exchanged a glance, understanding passing between us. These cultists had chased legends for over a decade, and now their schemes intersected with our path again. Odd decades. Liana's sense of time as a non-human always throws me off. She described meeting the cult 10 years ago like it was just weeks in human terms. My patience gets tested again. Gaps in knowledge left us cautious. Aina denied any cult involvement in my return. She radiated cool assurance, her words cut clean, both a shield and invitation to believe only in her magic. Banter shifted. Liana teased about my popularity even among death cultists. I tried to ignore her quip, focusing on Aina, searching her face for the truth behind all our second chances. Everyone's relieved. Liana's energy resets the mood, clapping as she stands to declare a new quest. My anxiety eases for a moment. The drive for answers shifts into eager anticipation of campus life. Shifting the future. Aina gently cupped my face and said she'd prepare everything for me at Olifandor. Her touch softened all doubt. I trusted her to handle whatever darkness came next to find us. Light laughter. Aina promises identity papers for Liana at Olifandor. Liana beams, her bravado returning as she spins wild fantasies about powerful friends and dazzling romances she'll start there. Warning issued. Aina reminds Liana not to seduce girls at school, citing Wolan's wrath. Liana slouches comically, fake fearful, but Aina's warning makes us all pause and remember past mischiefs. Beneath jokes and warnings, I glimpsed real fear in Liana's eyes when Wolan's name was mentioned. Even the boldest among us had legends we'd rather not test when it came to school discipline. Far away, 4 sealed coffins stir in a shadowed castle chamber. The chilling mist parts as ancient vampires awaken. Nia's lips curl with disdain, while Xielun hungers for Aina's power. Hidden loyalties. Nia addresses the gathering with authority, announcing new orders from Lady Aina. Baina's eyes flash with cold approval. Xielun's grin reveals hunger for attention and power. Crimson power. Xielun snatches the magic bloodbat, savoring Lady Aina's power in open ecstasy. His display disgusts the others. I sense undercurrents of rivalry, resentment, and dangerous desire. Words cut. Nia scolds Xielun for his obsession. Feina joins her, voice icily blunt. The elder watches in brooding silence, gold monocle glinting as power struggles play out beneath their loyalty. Bonds visible. Nia turns to Feina, voicing her loyalty to Lady Aina and her belief in true love. Feina nods, the two united in disdain for Xielun's obsession, forming a resolute front together. Insults tossed around. Xielun mocks the hero, claiming Lady Aina surely forgot her long-dead husband, but Nia fiercely defends her, refusing to let such words stain Lady Aina's love. Shifting tension. Questions swirl as Feina prods Nia about Aina's love, drawing sidelong glances before the vampire elder's calm voice commands silence, even as rivalry simmers beneath every word. Without hesitation, Xielun rebels, yet finally answers Dorian's question. Lady Aina commands that they investigate the mysterious Twilight Apostles, a group stirring fear within vampire society. Almost poetic, eyes close as blood magic stirs, the 4 vampire dukes shedding physicality as invisible power radiates outward, reaching across unseen distances with their bloodline gifts. Crimson vision. Dorian pierces the bond to a distant thrall among Twilight Apostles, seizing an image, a gaunt man in patchwork gray-yellow robes, shrouded in trance. The hunt has begun. Bloodlines reign. Dorian's calm dominates as he explains. Thralls and fledglings remain open books once claimed by superior blood, granting the Duke's secret eyes among even the deepest cults. Every secret. While Xielun tries masking irritation at Dorian's advantage, subtle rivalry ripples through these immortal souls, ancient rules woven with fresh grudges beneath the shadowed candlelight. Ancient boundaries. Nia presses forward, eager to understand Twilight Apostles' purpose, while Dorian reveals their heretical quest to resurrect the legendary hero, news that nearly shatters the table. Shock ignited, Xielun erupts at the idea of resurrection, denouncing the Twilight Apostles. Dorian's authority quells the uproar, Fina fans the flames, her words twisting the knife in old wounds. Swift summary, Dorian reclaims order, sharing the Twilight Apostles' true territory. United Nations of Yaliris, the diverse heart of the continent home to humanity, elves, dwarves, and giants. Pillars revealed, Dorian describes the coalition. Yalan Empire stands for humans, forests of Libya, elves, underground Reiko, dwarves, Slatu plains, giants. All others once branded demons in ancient war. History questioned. Dorian shares how the Twilight Apostles began as a society devoted to lost history, challenging old truths, revisiting the tangled myth of hero and demon king's bond. Unraveled myths, Fena ridicules wild theories, affirming Aina as the hero's wife, poking at Shi Lun's old wounds while tales whisper the demon king's true identity may be lost to history forever. Shadows deepen. Dorian admits no one truly knows the demon king's identity, perhaps not even Lady Aina. Only the hero, Xia Lun, faced the demon king at the end. Secrets buried in final memories. Stories shift. Dorian tells how the apostles turned from scholars to cult, all after claiming the hero's legacy. With new power, their research warped into zealotry and resurrection plots. Apostle danger. Rumor turns real as Dorian reveals the apostles now stalk villages, killing innocents for their cause. A spark of true horror flickers in every ancient immortal's gaze. Travel resumes. Liana drives the carriage, sullen from losing at rock, paper, scissors, while inside Xialun gently wakes Aina, who teases him, improvising a fairy tale hero's kiss to start the day. New Day's tease. Aina plays along, murmuring about curses and kisses, while Xialun obliges, both sharing a quiet joy in the moment. A sharp whip crack from Liana sends the horses into a gallop. Eyes open. Aina's crimson gaze signals magic lurking below the surface. Xialun turns conversation to the continent's mage society, gently probing whether Aina still has ties to elite circles. Layers unveiled. Aina admits she's distant from the famed arcane magisterium, her last attendance a century past. Liana, skeptical, presses for details, misunderstanding connections between Aina and Woland. Old ties. Aina's silence settles as she lifts the curtain, Xialun joining her. Through swirling lake mist, a vast city's shadowed towers rise like a dream. Oliphant destination finally in sight. Arrival imminent. Liana lifts her hand with a flourish, announcing their arrival as the carriage crests the lakeside road. The outline of Oliphant emerges, vast and enigmatic through the fog. Cities of legend always whisper 1,000 names, but as we approach Olafindor, I hear only expectation, and my heart thrums at the sight of the world's greatest academy on the lake. Stepping onto the drifting wooden boat, the cold mist brushes my skin, and silently, Aina squeezes next to me, while Liana frees the horse. A final pat before we push into the fog. Everything around dims, as only the boat's careful ripples and Liana's restless motion pierce the lake's hush. I feel Aina's steady warmth beside me, unspoken reassurance in unnatural silence. Up close, Liana's antics seem as irrepressible as ever, water flying from her hair. But her offhand wisdom about magic crystals under the lake makes even the fog itself feel charged with possibility. Lake's shroud lifts and vision bursts open. The magical barrier dissolves fog and suddenly Olafindor stands impossibly bright and vast, sunlight pouring through what feels like a vast bowl in the sky. We step ashore together across stone so flawless it echoes beneath us, and the city's reflection still ripples faintly behind, a moment between dimensions as the floating metropolis greets new arrivals. Even inside Olafindor the magic seems to hum everywhere. Liana's awe is open and honest, as hundreds of hopeful youths in plain outfits and staves crowd the academy's monumental main square. Water weaves through plazas, but here, the canals run impossibly deep, each building balanced on lake above an abyss. Aina's quiet explanation of magic repulsion crystals is more miraculous than fiction. Repulsion crystals hold the city like a secret. Liana's hands touch flawless stone with awe, Aina's warning indirect, and some distant flicker of admiration kindles in my chest for the realm's arcane genius. Soon, we join the stream of anxious young mages shuffling toward the Grand Academy gates, and for one stolen moment I envy their hope, the promise of learning far away from war or death. Footsteps stumbled and hush, anxiety thick in the air as all faces swivel to the plaza's fiery center. A predator's confidence, a swirl of scarlet and flames herald the appearance of the academy's top examiner. Her name's Delian, and with every movement she exudes an effortless authority. Her smirk and predatory glance silence the square. No one dares whisper as her voice rings sharp and loud through the air. Every step she takes, wreathed in embers, Delian declares that only those passing the entrance exam can claim Olafindor. Failure means relegation, and those words hang over the crowd's heads like sentence. Fake letters smolder in her palm. A glance proves Delian is no fool, and the flames devour hope of shortcut or favor. Whether peasant or prodigy, every soul here must prove themselves the hard way. In this place titles mean nothing. Even Woland's name fails to move the examiner. Delian's smirk is unyielding, and for a moment nobody breathes, as she proclaims that even legends must earn their place. Authority always draws a crowd, and with every word Delion utters, I feel the eyes of my peers shifting between awe and nerves, a theater meant for rivalry, not reassurance. Laughter nearly topples even Liana, whose whole frame shakes with hilarity. Her joy, set against Aina's suppressed giggle, lightens the tense air around these hallowed academy doors. Teasing from Delion makes me smile even as she sizes me up with those keen eyes. Her comments about my name fall with playful ease, camouflaging scrutiny with public banter. Retreat into crowd feels oddly comforting. Aina's arm slips gently around mine as she suggests calling Woland, and I realize even the most frightening authority can't shake her protectiveness. No need for panic, I reassure Aina with a quiet laugh, but her nervous anticipation is mirrored in Liana's frown, as she worries what a test will mean for one untrained in human magic. Elves stand out, and nowhere more so than Liana among robe-clad students. Her light armor and blushing admirers fill the air with bashful glances, hinting at both wonder and silent rivalries. Room debate erupts as Liana complains about separation, Aina's jealousy snaps to the surface, and I'm caught between laughter and awkwardness as former camping camaraderie turns into playful conflict. Unseen frustration lingers beneath Aina's warning to Liana, as I realize the battles over something as simple as a dorm room can be fiercer than what we faced in Wildlands together. Moving as one, the crowd shuffles through stone arches led by Delion's confident stride. Olifandor's magic grows thick, each breath heavy with potential. It's the atmosphere of ambition incarnate. Mana grows denser as we step onto campus. My breath fills with raw power, and Liana's awed whisper admits humanity's secret lies in opportunities like these, not measured only by years or blood. Comparisons to elves make Liana thoughtful, but her eyes also linger on the vast resources here. Our presence in this place might close a gap that centuries and blood alone can't breach. Hall awaits quietly as Delion leads us to a chamber filled with floating crystal orbs. Mana detectors glitter in shifting light, and the air tingles with the promise of magical revelation. Inscribed quietly by Aina's hand, a playful magic circle glows at our touch. Her spells disguise our true power, a sly precaution lest our mana splinters the delicate devices in this hall. Delion demonstrates clearly, her touch igniting a detector with crimson light. Every student holds their breath, waiting for their turn, their fates lit by glowing orbs and the examiner's unwavering confidence. Stories of strength make the crowd giggle. Delion's playful warning about breaking detectors is met with nervous amusement, while I feel Aina's hands squeeze tighter in anticipation of our performance. Breakage becomes legend as a student's question prompts Delion's story. Years passed, a handle slipped, and a fragile-seeming orb shattered from simple nerves, reshaping academy policy and magical engineering. Legacy of mishaps prompts Delion to give a dramatic show. She hurls a detector to the ground. A thunderous crash, and the undamaged orb floating up, prove the academy is prepared for overwhelming magic. Shadows conceal mischief. Delion's suspicious gaze finds Liana lingering with suspiciously empty hands, and I hide a sigh as the secret of the cracked orb slips quietly into her ring with practiced grace. Accidents happen easily with Liana's pride and strength. Her sheepish grin tells me she only competed with the devices because Delion tempted fate. I can never quite anticipate her next mischief. This blinding brilliance, Xialun, Liana, and I draw every gaze as our crystal balls eclipse the feeble lights around us. Anticipation, awe, and envy swirl together in the test hall's hush. Static crystallizes wonder as we stand amidst gasps. Students murmur about backgrounds and talent, unable to hide envy or curiosity. It's strange being measured like this so publicly on day one. Overheard whispers sting as odd voices discuss our so-called prestige. Xialun's embarrassment is palpable. He stands stiffly, almost wishing to vanish, longing for the anonymity he once enjoyed. Mischief flickers bright as Liana's nervous message comes through. Aina admits her magic suppression failed. We stifle laughter, the tension easing slightly between us as Aina blushes in defeat. Familiar playful barbs, Xialun teases Aina for her rare mistake, calling her Demon King. Her wounded pride shows as she keeps her head down, and I do my best not to burst out laughing. A troublesome crystal. Aina inspects her own crystal ball, its glow perfectly average. She expertly conceals her shock, controlling the anomaly with quiet skill, hidden from the outside world's eyes. Mental link snap. Teasing through mind speech, Xialun calls out Aina's slip. She pouts quietly, refusing to meet our eyes. Even brilliance brings embarrassment in an academy full of scrutiny. Shifting eyes. Notice a new spectacle. A dazzling blue light appears in the distance. Everyone in the hall turns as one to watch. Curiosity spikes, anticipation thickens, and our group is drawn in. Spectacle blue reigns. The hall's attention shifts to the newcomer, Khan. Golden hair gleaming in courtly attire, face strained with anger beneath the weight of expectations and the sting of coming in second. Fuming pride cracks, Khan demands an explanation of Delian, sure the device is rigged. Delian's tempered annoyance shows as she stands firm, refusing to be cowed by Khan's family name or theatrics. Twice confirmed defeat, stubborn Khan tries another crystal ball, the result unchanged. His pride suffers visible blows, but the flawless device stands firm, shining with truthful blue light. Silent frustration burns as Khan slams the crystal ball to the ground. The orb remains unbroken. Exposed, he glares briefly at us, pride wounded, then snaps his gaze away to avoid further shame. Old Eris judged. Watching Khan's tantrum, Liana mutters how arrogant boys would fare in older times. Her dry quip distracts me, and for a moment, the drama becomes almost entertaining again. Sudden crimson flare. A resonant hum disrupts everything as a new crystal ball blazes red like a second sunrise. The crowd gasps, all eyes swinging from Khan to the bright, unexpected challenger. Unexpected greatness dawns. The plain boy Mian stands frozen in surprise as the crimson orb glows explosively. His humble robes and freckled face contrast with the stunned, admiring stares surrounding him. Recognition flickers fast. Delian approaches Mian with excited encouragement. He stammers, overwhelmed, but her praise is genuine, as she feels the spark of his rare fire affinity stirring within the crowd. A chance beckons. Delian reveals Mian's rare magic and invites him to try for her academy. His face lights up bright as dawn, hope mingling with disbelief in the glow of the crystal's red aura. Jealousy smolders quiet while Mian soaks up Delian's praise. Khan, jaw tight and fists white-knuckled, watches from the sidelines, his earlier pride now curdling into bitter resentment, edged with frustration. Encouragement restores calm. Diana's reassuring voice cuts through as she reminds all that magic isn't just about power. Her calm, confident smile brings hope to nervous novices now fearing they'll fall behind. Far above moonlight, Woland sits sipping dark tea in the headmaster's study atop Oliphant's spire. He questions Kalinda in tranquil tones, masking his anticipation beneath layers of old memories. Preparation in motion, Kalinda confirms the manor's ready, while Woland masks his purpose. Invitation and secrecy weave together. He steeples his hands, gaze weighing memories against present. Notable newcomers named? Kalinda conjures a scroll, names writing themselves in silver light. She lists Khan, Mian, Liana, and Xia Lun, her tone calm until the last name halts time for both of us. Family ties fracture. Hearing my own surname, Woland nearly spits his tea. Kalinda makes a playful guess about our connection, unaware of the storm behind Woland's mask as he trembles, then shatters his cup. Trying not to, Kalinda glances at the shattered teacup as Woland excuses himself, watching her mentor's stiff retreat toward the Hall of Truth, her mind whirring with frantic doubts. Desperately piecing motives, Kalinda tries to calm herself by tidying, a tiny whirlwind curling around teacup shards as doubts about Woland's secret trips spiral out of control in her mind. Memories spark panic. Distracted, Kalinda clutches her head, remembering Woland's mysterious trips, wild suspicions wrenching her mood from denial to jealous fear of an unknown affair in his past. Despair turns into jumping up. Kalinda resolves to investigate, smoothing her robe as she tries to rationalize her fears with laughter, already plotting to scrutinize Xiaolun's face for any proof. Caught off guard, Woland enters the Hall of Truth, his imposing presence felt even with aura suppressed. I nudge Aina, watching Liana turn just as she notices someone uncannily similar to me arriving. Sudden recognition stirs. Liana murmurs to me about the stranger's resemblance. Aina identifies Woland, her tone level. I pull Liana back to keep her quiet, as Woland avoids all attention. Bizarre ceremony begins. Students gather around the jade-carved white owl perched atop a lush, emerald-potted plant. Magic pulses faintly as everyone expects the process to reveal hidden truths. Odd ritual unfolds. Delian calls attention. The animated owl flaps and awkwardly hops onto her shoulder. Laughter and curiosity ripple as it's revealed to be the hall's eye of truth. Cautious rumors echo. Students whisper doubts about the magical owl's powers. Delian hesitantly urges cooperation. The owl's golden gaze seems to pierce through anyone who tries to lie. Relentless interrogation follows. The white owl statue animates, turning its gaze directly at a skeptic student in the crowd, demanding with comical severity, exposing secrets with a magical shriek. Laughter bursts out. When the owl exposes a boy's awkward secret, the surrounding students double over. Girls hide their faces in disbelief, while boys mock. The magical owl seems to thrive on chaos. Uncontrollable laughter spreads. Liana whispers that this is the ultimate social humiliation, slapping my shoulder in disbelief, while the whole hall echoes with raucous mockery at the owl's antics. Strained empathy returns. I look at Liana, pity mixing with bemusement. She freezes at my glance, self-conscious suddenly. The room's wild humor only heightens my resolve to remember why we're here. Bracing for exposure, Delian calls Liana up. Liana steels herself chin high and walks to face Delian and the relentless truth owl. Every eye in the hall narrows, holding breath in anticipation. Radical honesty triumphs. When Delian asks her motive, Liana boldly declares her wish to cuddle and sleep with cute girls. Silence deepens, but the magical owl does not so much as twitch at her confession. Brief confusion ensues. Delian collects herself, quietly passing Liana as the crowd murmurs in disbelief. Liana returns to my side with a proud stride, still flushed from her unapologetic honesty. Judgment turns sharp. A male student steps forward, confessing a shallow motive. Delian's fierce glare and the truth owl's unblinking stare combine to freeze him solid. She swiftly expels him with a word. Enraptured by beauty, male voices around me barely contain awe as Aina walks up to Delian, every pair of eyes following her in breathless anticipation of what she'll say next. Delian masks her shock, addressing Aina in a trembling voice, but Aina answers with theatrical fondness, speaking sweetly of her beloved husband, making sure everyone hears every heartfelt word. Subtle glances and broken dreams, Aina's response crushes all hope in the young men, while Delian nods in defeat, and the silent white owl acts as impartial witness on her shoulder. Motives revealed honestly, each student's desire emerges, ranging from power to simple romance. The peculiar purity of most motives only makes my presence and Aina's words more extraordinary. Delian calls my name. The subtle tension in the air sharpens as every single gaze focuses, waiting to compare my motivation against the standard Aina just set with her bold confession. Eyes meet diamond gaze. The white owl gazes deep into my eyes, diamond-like pupils flickering with strange light, reflecting not my face but countless scattered pinpoints of silver within darkness. Unexpected chaos erupts. The owl's body trembles, begins muttering gibberish, then collapses abruptly from Delian's shoulder, leaving everyone in the room stunned in wide-eyed silence. Delian's reaction is instant. Her staff is already raised, eyes narrowed, as she points the glowing fire dragon crystal at me, suspicions flaring with all the pent-up energy of looming disaster. Warning fills the air. Beside me, Aina's playful glow vanishes in an instant, her gaze shifting into calm clarity as Delian's suspicions settle heavy and everyone in the room holds stiff suspense. Woland intervenes, gentle but firm, his hand lowers Delian's staff as tension melts slightly. Only someone of his stature could diffuse the threat of violence so gracefully and so quickly. Private messages flow. Woland reassures with silent magic, his calm voice only for Aina and me. I nod with a smile, signifying relief, even as the shadow of chaos lingers beneath the surface. Flustered truths unravel. Delian confesses she burned my letter, all but crumpling under the embarrassment. Woland sighs, resigned, unable to blame her for this unexpected convergence of fate. Situation resumes awkwardly. Delian, regaining composure, glances at my form and the unmoving owl before her. A brief spark of magic from Woland brings that magical bird suddenly back to life. Magic restored order. The owl reanimates with wild flapping, scrambling awkwardly back to its perch, while Delian quietly composes herself, ready to continue the entrance test at last. Confusion lingers in the air. Students mutter among themselves, still unsure what to make of my unusual situation. Uncertainty visible on their faces as Delian pushes forward to the next candidate. Wonder bubbles quietly. Leaning close, I ask Aina in a silent mind voice if my altered eyes cause the wisdom owl's breakdown. She nods subtly, mystery flickering in her expression as she answers. Cautiously, Aina reveals, the white owl glimpsed the fictitious truth through my eyes of insight. Something so unseeable, the owl nearly burst. She keeps her touch gentle, aware of curious observers, true terror shrouded. When I privately ask what the fictitious truth is, Aina simply links her arm to mine, shrugs and whispers, it's just an eldritch god beyond this world. I only feel smaller. Quiet laughter faded. Holding Aina close, love and sorrow intermingled in my chest. I could never guess how deeply she suffered for my sake during those years of separation. Any reward can wait. Aina's teasing voice, her laughter shaped like crescent moons, made me smile, even as I struggled to keep my composure in the wake of my confession to her. A gentle surprise prickled. As Delian announced the final test, I realized the Academy's entrance was far less harsh than legends claimed, with no one eliminated so far except unlucky outliers. Expectations fell short. Liana watched my reaction, explaining that mana now runs thin, shaking her head at the world's changed fate for mages, and how Oliphant's renown depends on its vast scale. Stories from Liana leaned in as she questioned me about the Demon King, her curiosity echoing in Aina's eyes, both quietly probing my heart for secrets kept across years of haunted silence. Demon King answer, Aina snuggled closer, asking again for my secret, but no promise could tempt me. Even her softest whispers only made my refusal gentler, my heart anchored in unreadable calm. Whispered ploys fail. Aina's honeyed suggestion leaves me blushing, Liana overhearing every word and turning scarlet. Our playful back and forth leaves the atmosphere lighter despite lingering secrets. Burning blushes linger. Liana, face reddened, tries to restore order, excusing my silence for reasons unknown, as she valiantly attempts to mask her embarrassment with composed, considerate restraint. Private thoughts darken. My real reason for secrecy is far simpler. Liana stands before the Demon King himself, oblivious to the truth, and some wounds can only be quietly carried once more. With a smile, I sensed a distant gaze on me and dismissed it. Some things can be left unspoken, at least for today, and my mask settled back into a serene indifference once more. No comfort remained. Kalinda, watching in secret by magical ice mirror, staggered as her suspicion grew that I might be Wolin's son and Aina his daughter. Her heart hammered with disbelief and jealousy. Hammer blow struck. Kalinda's mind reeled, piecing together hints of Wolin's secret family, her feelings twisting between devastation and a gritty, burning resolve to win his affection regardless. Desperate plans bloom. Determination flared, as Kalinda dreamed up bold schemes to charm the children and claim a place beside Woland, her ambition teetering between hope, rivalry, and almost sinister zeal. Ambition nearly slips. Kalinda's inner monologue tumbles into wicked laughter, quickly shushed as she recovers composure, wiping her lips and standing with a new gleam of dangerous eagerness in her eye. Question hung softly. Back near the exam arena, I asked Aina about the distant scrying presence. She calmly deduced it was simply someone fixated on us, likely a friend of Woland, unworthy of concern. Gentle warnings spoken, Aina joked about being bloodthirsty if provoked, only for me to remind her. Our old games and hidden titles surfaced, the old world never quite leaving us, even in peaceful halls. Location changed quickly. Delian led us toward the massive arena, its imposing iron gates looming before stands empty of spectators. The final test's intent felt obvious, and sent silent chills through the students. Combat loomed near. Stepping into the arena, I surveyed the stone pillars marked with ancient totems and felt the nervous tension radiating from the crowd, knowing the time for theory and safety had ended. Instructions hit home. Delian stood expressionless as she announced the test. We each must defeat a goblin. For most gathered here, magic theory meant nothing, and fear began spreading like a chill wind. Goblins are creatures forsaken by beauty or strength. I stared at the test field, wondering who would actually fail against such weak monsters. It honestly seemed laughable. Tension vanished as most students jeered, none fearing the goblins. Khan radiated confidence, his family's prestige and swordplay skill making defeat by these monsters seem impossible. Without a moment's hesitation, Khan's sword flashed, a cold blur that ended with the goblin's head soaring, leaving a fountain of blood. His confident grin twisted as he realized he'd been drenched. Blood stuck to his skin. Khan cursed as his pride soured, barely keeping from vomiting. Delian's voice remained level. Just another test passed. None wanted to follow him now. Second silence gripped us. No one rushed to try, memories of gore fresh in our minds. Delian's sharpened gaze warned us, daring anyone to act soft in front of death and monsters. Delian answered her own lesson. Staff raised, she summoned searing fire. The goblin's shriek split the air as flames devoured it, chilling us far more than any display of cold violence yet. Delian's words cut deep. She reminded us these monsters corrupted the world. Hesitation or mercy could mean tragedy. A dark lesson. Real power demands courage, not childish scruples. An arrow whistled. The next goblin toppled, skull pierced cleanly. Liana cheered as if it were sport. A goblin's only luck today would be thanks for a quick, merciful end. No one could explain what Aina did. One instant she raised her hand, the next the goblin dropped limp. That silent power forced the crowd into a hush, even Delian blinking in surprise. Shilin moved with uncanny calm, dodging the goblin's charge. He circled behind and snapped its neck. No blood, no mess. Suddenly everyone understood. Clean, clinical precision was possible. Others followed Shielin's clean technique, relief flickering as necks snapped without blood. The arena was soon littered with goblin corpses, each with a twisted neck, none looking at peace. Lake Village rested quiet. Inside the cold schoolhouse, old Cody lectured softly, his slow voice nearly lulling the children to sleep. Only Anana listened with shining focus, never losing interest. Class finally finished. Children trudged out reluctantly into the icy wind. Anana, lively and determined, dashed through the door, excitement making her forget the biting cold for a moment. Anticipation built as I watched the horizon from the gate, snow wolf hound howls echoing. The caravan finally arrived, Gary greeting Anana warmly, brandishing her precious doll with a laugh. Anana's gaze wandered beyond the wagons. She spotted a group of strangers in dun yellow robes, their guarded, secretive manner instantly making them stand out against the village's snowy calm. Rock City tourists baffled me. What could anyone want to see in a snowbound place like ours? Only biting wind and endless frost. Still, Giri just waved and hurried me off. Merchantmen hurried through snow, hauling crates of precious salt and spices for trade. Even their banter about city news felt warm after such a long, frozen journey home. Soon, Geirui led the yellow-robed strangers into the schoolhouse where old Cody met them with no sign of surprise. Something secret was beginning, cloaked in winter's hush. From behind the crowd, a frail young man named Boar revealed himself, looking almost deathly. I was shocked. They trusted someone who seemed barely able to withstand a breeze. Boar's raspy voice sent chills down my spine. "Leave the troublesome ones to me," he said, yet the fervor in the room rose. Some even dared hope the mythical hero would answer. To my astonishment, Geirui donned gray-yellow robes like the others. Their voices rose, for the hero. Their faith burned far brighter than any fire lit against the snow outside. Moonlight painted Lake Village in cold silver as night swallowed the scene. Anxiety kept me wide awake, ruby pendant at my chest throbbing warmth against the deep freeze beyond glass. Mother's gentle arm comforted me, but I couldn't relax. With father wounded from a recent hunt, tonight their secretive whispers behind closed doors weighed heavier than ever. My childish hope to sleep with mother tonight was dashed. She always claimed tending father's wounds would help, but her trembling hands betrayed a deeper fear she dared not voice. A low celestial hum abruptly pierced the night, then a crimson light burst outside, turning frosty darkness into a storm of red. Even mother froze, arms tight around me, trembling. My father burst in, grabbing his fur coat, longbow and steel scimitar. He was always our pillar. But on this night, even his steady hands trembled as he braced for some unknown storm. Explosions rocked our snow house, icy walls trembling as if the world itself might crack open. Mother's voice was calm, but her eyes betrayed a terror that overtook all pretense. Chaos erupted outside, screams, crashing, father's furious voice rising. "Geirui, what are you doing?" For the first time I saw terror break his strength in front of us. Then silence, broken by a single word, "Sorry." Another boom sent our world tumbling. Suddenly the ice wall shattered, and father was hurled in, battered and bloodied at our feet. Father's mighty form had crumbled. Blood streaked his chest, breaths ragged and weak. My pillar had become a broken thing, and cold wind poured through the breach, biting deeper than ever. Through the ruined wall, I saw a monstrous, skinless form, crimson and raw, bearing father's arrow in its skull, his scimitar jutting from its flesh. The creature yanked them free, turning on us. It landed before us, eyes brimming with malice, boasting the ritual had sealed the village and all would become offerings to the hero. My father still tried shielding us, battered though he was. My father spat defiance, calling their hero a false god, but his last stand faltered as blood filled his mouth. The monster mocked our resistance, as if reveling in our helplessness. Without warning, the monster froze solid, a statue of blue ice. Through shattered walls, a colossal blue vertical eye stared straight at me, chill and awe rippling down my spine. A clear, youthful voice rang out from beyond the ruin, sharp and oddly bright. "Do you have any sausages?" In that surreal moment, I realized the nightmare was far from over.